get this money from? Money. Man. Money. Money.
And Ovation family, what is up? How you guys doing today? It's me, Brandon, your friend, your neighbor, your host, back with another video for Innovation Property Atlanta. Just here talking about this Turo car game, private rental game, car rentals, housing market, side hustles, ways you all can come together, banter, and make money together and save money. Before we jump to today's video, guys, remember as always, like you always do, is show me some love in the comment section. Like my video if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel, refer me out anybody knows interested to learn more about car rentals, and hit that notification button so you guys are notified when I put out the videos that will be in your inbox or on your timeline. Today's quick reaction video is coming from Grant Cardone. For you guys that may or may not know who Grant is a real estate tycoon. I believe he's in Florida, Miami area. He's big into buying a lot of investment properties on the apartment side, I believe, and renting them out. So he holds a lot of rental properties. I believe he's also a multi-billionaire as of recently, if I'm not mistaken. So he's big into the rental game when it comes to buying apartment complexes and renting them out as far as 12-month leases and long-term leases, and then rinse and repeat that process. So he's going to talk about the real estate market and what's ahead and kind of giving his input as he was on a recent interview, I believe it was with Fox News. So let's go ahead and fire it up. Without further ado, let's bring in the interview, and I'll give my 2 cents as always, and then we'll go from there.
Sellers alike feeling a massive struggle to close deals or make money. And if you need yet another sign of turmoil, 45% of U.S. real estate agents are struggling to pay rent on their offices. Here to react is private equity fund manager and real estate investor, Grant Cardone. Welcome, Grant. So tell me, why are real estate owners and agents not able to pay the rent? What is going on?
Well, because, Rachel, the Fed single-handedly has killed the housing market. The Fed will make more renters in this country in the next 2 years than it has in the last 50, because mortgage applications are at all-time lows. Mortgages are double what rent is today.
A massive struggle to close deal. Agents are struggling. Investor Grant Cardone, pay the rent. What is going on?
So to chime in on that point real quick, guys, and we'll get back to it. So you guys probably are feeling the inflation and the interest rates in the car market also. As you see, repos are spiking and people are having a hard time getting approved and being able to pay these car notes to someone personal level, and not just on a Turo or car rental level, but just on a personal level. So the inflation really has kicked everybody's butt the last 2 or 3 years since interest rates have really spiked. Well, maybe the last 2 years, actually, since 2022, a lot has really changed as far as the economy. So Grant is 100% correct when he says that inflation and the government and other entities are actually, hurting the housing market along with the car market. So I'll let him go ahead and finish his point.
Well, because, Rachel, the Fed single-handedly has killed the housing market. The Fed will make more renters in this country in the next 2 years than it has in the last 50, because mortgage applications are at all-time lows. Mortgages are double what rent is today. And it doesn't surprise me that real estate agents are feeling the brunt of this. Back in June of 22, Jerome Powell said that the middle class, everyday people would disproportionately feel the pain of higher interest rates in his attempt to control inflation. He has not controlled inflation. He has failed miserably. What he has actually done is created and, in the meantime, stop the housing industry.
What would you recommend he do?
Well, what he should do is get out of the way. There's no time in history in my lifetime that the Fed actually controlled interest rates. Supply and demand is what controls interest rates. As long as people are spending their money, that means they want that product or service. At what point it gets to a price where I no longer find it valuable, I will no longer continue to purchase that. And people want homes. People want to live in a single family home. I don't personally think it's a great investment. I've said that many, many times. I've gotten ragged out on it, but he should step aside, get out of the way, let the market do its thing. Interest rates will have to come down in order for pricing to come down.
That's right.
This is actually a contradiction to what most people think, but when interest rates come down, mortgage applications will go up, and people will start selling their homes.
Well, the World Economic Forum had this famous commercial where they talked about the Great Reset, and they said, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And you're seeing that happening. You're saying that we are becoming a renter nation. I say it's by design. Explain what you mean by it.
The rents in this country, the average rent, as much as people complain about them, we have 12,000 units. The average rent's about $1,800. And as much as they complain about it, the mortgage on a similar home in that same neighborhood would be double that, plus insurance, and plus a PMI, which is mortgage insurance on the mortgage itself. So it's unaffordable for people to own a home today. And that means you will rent, you will literally own nothing and be happy about it. Now, the apartment complexes that are being built today provide such crazy great amenities that it is actually for new generations of people.
Just real quick on that point. So you see how that plays into Grant's hands. So, congrats to him being an investor, owning what he say, 12,000 units, I believe, apartment complexes. This plays right into his hands, guys. So it goes to show you and stress to you the importance of ownership and own when you can. When the market is cheap and cheaper and lower interest rates, that's the time to buy and own real estate, whether that be, starting your business, being able to get money to start your business, borrowing capital. Now is the time in the short future, hopefully when interest rates come back down, to borrow money to, focus on ownership. Because if you don't, look at what happens. The market will control you. Your job will control you. The government will control you, and they don't want you to own anything. And the key is you want to be able to own, to be able to pass that stuff down to your family and loved ones. So, I don't agree so much. I think it is important to buy a private home or a personal home for your family, especially you and your family, especially if you have kids and a wife. That's important, so you can pay that stuff off and leave it to them when you leave this earth. So I don't think having a personal home is a great investment, to his point, because it's not an investment, it's a home and it's meant for you to live. So you can snag up a personal home and live there for 5, 10, 15 years and pay it off. You can have an asset and you can start building assets. But he's right when he says they want you to own nothing. I do agree with that. But you can fight against that if you're going to put in the work and buy some assets.
It's actually an alternative that's not economic, but actually desirable for them to actually live someplace for 10 or 24 months at a time rather than hunker down for 30 years.
Yeah, well, these hedge funds and private equity firms are buying up property and then, making them into rentals. And we're seeing, as you said, less and less people owning their home, which always was the American dream.
And this is...
Go ahead. Last thought.
Yeah, I just want to say that we're entering the greatest real estate correction in my lifetime. It will not include single family homes, but it will include office, which we're already seeing that damage, and we're going to see it across the entire apartment complex. It's going to be a great opportunity for individuals, regular everyday people, to actually grab trophy real estate from institutions. This has never happened in this country. It's going to be at epic levels.
All right. Great information. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and Merry Christmas.
Getting a business loan has never been easier.
Let me put my last little following statements or input. So again, guys, great little short interview for Grant Cardone and Fox News. I always like tapping into multi-millionaire net worth people and billionaires, understand their mindset and kind of how they see things. So it's good to, get information from Grant. Some people aren't a Grant fan. I don't mind Grant. I do listen to a lot of his podcasts, and he's on these type of news outlets to kind of get his input. So I'm gonna be doing more reaction videos over the next couple of days and jumping back into it as I've been busy the last week and a half. So I do apologize. You guys haven't seen much of me around talking about the Turo game and the car rental game and where we're at, but great reaction video with Grant. Again, I'm a believer in ownership, so you guys don't be afraid to jump into the market and buy things that you think are valuable, going to hold it valuable for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So that's today's reaction video. You guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll tap into the next video.
Never been so lucky I can have it all. Can I simply ask you where you get this money from? money.